I made a promise to myself I would work as hard as I had to follow my passions, to find success in my passions, so I'd never have to do engineering again. Like lots of people, I think, especially when starting out, they're like, once I reach this skill set, my videos look like this, the clients are going to come flooding.
They're going to come to me.
Yeah, and that's just not the case. There are people nowhere near as skillful as you getting jobs, getting a lot better jobs than you're getting, and it's just because they have the business acumen. And it does look incredibly glamorous, and it is awesome to go and experience these places. But there is another side to it. Like, everything does come with a sacrifice, and the first step is working out exactly what it is that you really do want to do, the stuff that you're passionate about, the stuff that you won't mind staying up till 1 a.m. and just like tweaking stuff, and you get excited over it, and you're like, oh no, I've got to go to bed, damn. If you're putting in that extra work, those extra hours, it's not feeling like work, you're going to progress a lot quicker, and you're going to stick with it.
Today I sit down with a creative who's built a career around travel, storytelling, and just saying yes to adventure. Paul Lojszczyk is an adventure and travel creator who's figured out how to turn his passion into a career. And in this episode, he breaks down exactly how he finds clients, works with big brands, and what it actually takes to make this kind of lifestyle sustainable. So if you're a creative trying to break into the space, or you're just curious about how people actually get paid to travel and explore, then this one's for you. So let's get into it. There's so much that we can talk about. I feel like you've seen the world many times over. But if we could start, I'd want you to, if you could, start by telling me a little bit about hashtag.
Okay. This is not where I thought it would start. Okay, so hashtag was a music project, DJ music production project many years ago. You've gone deep into the crates there, where I was just DJing with a couple of buddies in Newcastle. So before I was into photography, filmmaking, I was pretty deep into the electronic music and events world. And so there's a couple of guys who I was DJing with in Newcastle, which is where I'm from, a couple of hours north of Sydney, and we were like, let's kind of form a trio. Let's start making some music as well as just DJing. And I was always super into music. Not particularly great at playing music, but like in terms of taste, like good taste and good knowledge. And one of the guys was a very, very competent producer. And so, we formed this little like trio. We took so long to try and figure out a name. And this was quite a while ago. This was before like hashtags are what they are today. Like that you could click on a hashtag. This was before that. And anyway, we thought we were being kind of clever. Like, hashtag, like probably trying to still, we weren't that young, but we were trying to still stay with the youth of the world. And so we called the group hashtag, and which turned out to be a pretty horrible choice in retrospect. Not horrible, but it was just like once Facebook announced that, we've got this new hashtag feature, we were like, that's not good news.
That's not good for us.
We're going to get very lost. But anyway,
it'd be hard to find. Very hard to find.
Yeah. But anyway, we produced a couple of tracks, a couple of remixes that went really, really well. So like kind of went a bit viral. Just like this was back in the day of the starting of like Flume and that kind of chill wave sort of sound, and we went along with that sort of a thing, and they're probably still out there. Well, they are still out there. Yeah, they are still out there. And they went. A couple of them went really well. And we had a lot of fun events and played a lot of cool shows. And and then eventually I moved overseas. So I moved overseas to study initially, and ended up staying overseas for a long time. And we kind of kept the project going for a bit, but it was very difficult with the...
They stayed here and you left?
Yeah, they stayed in Australia and I went off. So, that chapter eventually closed, but it was a super fun chapter.
Yeah, you had some hits.
Yeah.
You had a Chet Faker remix.
Chet Faker remix that went really well, and an Alt J Breeze Blocks remix, which kind of kicked everything off. And
have you had a look at the Chet Faker song recently? Where it's at, how it's performing?
Nah, I haven't.
It's at 20 million views.
Is it really?
20 million.
Right, that's a lot more than the last time I
looked at it. Last time. It kind of lives on. I think that's a good thing about YouTube. Like, those things live on forever.
Yeah.
And they can just continue to grow.
And that, yeah, because it got picked up by a couple of, at the time, very big YouTube channels, those tracks. And yeah, they did go pretty bonkers at the time.
Yeah,
but
true.
Yeah, the Breeze Box one was when I last looked at it, which was a long time ago, when that was the one that performed way better than the Chet Faker one. So it's interesting.
Yes. Yeah, YouTube's interesting. Like compared to other social platforms, like on Instagram, that's gone in 2 days, and it may never come back.
Yeah.
Whereas like YouTube can just continually
doesn't it?
grow.
Yeah.
That's massive, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
very cool.
A blast from the past,
Very
actually.
good.
Yeah.
And then from there, you moved overseas to study.
I did, yeah. I studied environmental engineering and science at university. And yeah, I did the final year of my degree overseas. So I moved to Sweden and then to the UK to finish off my degree. And then I stayed over in Europe until the pandemic happened.
You basically never came back.
I didn't, until COVID happened, and then I was initially just coming back for a couple of weeks, and then we all know what happened. We got got stuck here.
We got stuck.
All got all locked down, and have been loosely based here for the last since then.
But within that time of you being away up until the pandemic, is that where your like love of travel and like I guess creative work grew?
Yeah. So the kind of the way it played out, once I finished my degree, I was over in Europe. I had like the whole summer free, and I was not ready to come back to Australia, and I certainly wasn't ready to be an engineer.
Yep.
I had done 1 year of engineering in the middle of my degree. So I did 1 year of placement, and at the end of that year, I made a promise to myself I would work as hard as I had to follow my passions. So to find success in my passions, so I'd never have to do engineering again, because it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. So
what were those passions at the time?
So at the time it was music and events. And I was also incredibly social and just loved people. So a good, the perfect kind of unity of those things was music and events, which I was very lucky to land a job based in Croatia.
Yacht?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly. So
how'd you land that?
Initially, I got a job just as event staff. And I was going to DJ for a couple of weeks because I DJ'd all through university and obviously had the hashtag project. And so I had a decent kind of DJ resume. So they booked me for a few weeks as a DJ, and then I was just going to go and be event staff for a good portion of the European summer. And then
that sounds like a sick job, dude.
Oh, it was dreamy.
Yeah.
But even better, like an even better job came up, which was the music manager for the Yacht Week.
Wow.
So
what's that, like finding?
Exactly. Yeah. Finding DJs and basically just managing the roster of DJs, because the events ran all summer long in multiple countries. So you've got to have someone kind of just like booking the DJs, making sure they're happy in the right places, which can be challenging with DJs, and making sure they are where they need to be at the right time. But it was so that job came up, I applied for it, managed to get it, and that was my dream job at the time, because those events were obviously like you got to play awesome music, be super involved in these events, but they were in like the most spectacular locations, and with just the most incredible people to putting on those events. Lots of like incredible DJs, photographers, filmmakers, event staff, skippers and hosts of the yachts that were sailing. It was just like a really awesome network of people.
Wow. That does sound like a dream job.
It was incredible, and very hashtag blessed to have had that had that experience.
Very good.
But very stoked, and it was some of the best times of my life with amazing people who I'm still friends with today. Like some of my best friends. And it was an awesome chapter, and I did that for about six years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Was it always at the same place? Were you traveling around?
No, traveling around, yeah. So it was, the main events were in Croatia. So I'd be in Croatia for the summer, but, had events in like Greece, Montenegro, Italy, and then in the winter it'd be like the Caribbean, Thailand. So yeah, horrible places
And
to go.
and they're just sending you to all these places around the world?
A lot of the time, yeah, a lot of the time. And in the winter, they also had a winter version in ski resorts.
Wow.
So yeah, I would head off and often play it, DJ at these events in Austria or Canada or Japan, and it was very dreamy life.
And this is where, so for 5-6 years, you're just traveling around with this Yacht Week company, organising these events.
Yeah, in the summers, traveling and doing a lot of events. In the winter, they didn't have as much going on. So for a few winters there, I had a DJ residency in the French Alps. So I'd be posted up there for the winter, and
that's the side gig.
And or when things like the longer I was with the company, the more investment and the bigger it grew, and I was kind of working part-time over the winter, but I'd try and relocate where I could to the mountains, because I wasn't a huge fan of London in the winter, which is where their head office was. So.
Okay. It sounds like you achieved the goal pretty quickly.
Yeah. It was a mixture of like worked hard, but also like very, very honest that I was lucky and the right opportunities came up, and and when you get those good opportunities, you really got to take them. So
true.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was full on though. It's a very intense lifestyle, that sort of lifestyle. So that's why I kind of transitioned across into, one of the reasons, into content, is because it's a very intense lifestyle, and I got pretty tired of it after quite a long period of time. So that was one of the big reasons.
Is it something like while you're in it, you're kind of thinking, I can't be doing this for the rest of my life?
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. That was one of the catalysts to move across into more photo and video work, because instead of going to bed at 5 a.m, you wake up at 5 a.m. and then go and experience an awesome sunrise.
What got you to pick up a camera? Like, when did you think? When did that transition? Because you could have transitioned into anything. At what point did you start thinking, I want to use a camera, or that's what I want to do from now on?
I bought a camera when I left to go study overseas.
Okay.
So I bought a camera just for the purpose of documenting.
If you're going to all these places, I can just imagine you'd be wanting to capture it.
Exactly. And I'd always kind of liked photography to an extent, but I didn't have a huge amount of exposure to it. Like I didn't really have a proper camera until that point. But yeah, so I'd document, take photos and videos just of the travels, and all of those are on a hard drive back at home, and sometimes I'll like bust it out and have a look and just be like, oh god, this is so bad. But they're awesome memories.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Obviously that was the key, the purpose of it. So it was once I kind of realised that I don't want to do this, or the music or the events thing. I was working with a lot of very talented photographers and filmmakers as a part of these events. And,
awesome.
I guess they probably inspired me. I was like, okay, they still get to like travel around and create things, but the things that I don't want to do into my 30s and 40s, they don't have to do that.
Yes.
It's a different way of still like traveling, seeing awesome places, meeting cool people, being creative, but you don't have those negative things that or the things that I was like, okay, I don't want to do that into my later periods of life. So that was the kind of the instigator of taking it a little bit more seriously, and I just would work pretty hard in any spare time I had, which was not very much at all, because working in events where you have events every single night of the week for 15 weeks straight. Yeah, wow. You don't have much downtime. So just kind of whenever I could, like 11 p.m. till like 1 a.m. I'd, if I had a little spare spot, I'd be like, on YouTube or like editing, trying to like work out how do I make this stuff look better and how do I make it look good. And with the goal of, hopefully one day it'll be good enough that someone will pay me for it
Mm-hmm.
and I can transition across.
Yes, exactly. So you would have, there was a point there where you reset your goals to take this more seriously.
Yeah.
And then in order
certainly.
to achieve that goal, what did you think you needed to do? Just get better.
Exactly. I was like, the first step is I just need a skill set that's going to be valuable enough
Mm-hmm.
to actually make some money from it.
Yep.
And I realized that would basically just take a volume of work. Like
Yep.
I've just got to work hard. I've got to do as much of it as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're passionate about something and you love doing it,
Mm-hmm.
that's not that hard.
True.
So, well, for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of set that goal of getting the skill set as good as I could, and thought that I'd just work the rest out as I got there.
Yep.
But that was definitely the first goal.
What were you turning to like learn? Is it YouTube? Are we just going to YouTube to try and get
YouTube.
tips or your mates?
Yeah, YouTube, and I'd definitely the people who I'd meet along the way, the creatives, I'd try and get as much from them as possible as well. And to their credit, like they're really helpful. Definitely, if you can ask people who are more experienced, it is helpful. I was asking, kind of badgering them without annoying them when I could.
Yeah.
And and just YouTube, as well as just trying and tinkering. Like, I didn't know how Lightroom worked. Initially, I did more photos than video work. I didn't really know how Lightroom works, so I just like played with all the slides. I didn't know what they did, but just like, no, let's try this. And sometimes it'll look good, sometimes it'll look bad, and sometimes I didn't know if it was good or not. And, but lots of YouTube tutorials as well.
Yeah, definitely.
There's just so much information on there.
Same. Were there people at that time that you looked up to? You're like, oh man, that guy's doing it well.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
Definitely. Lots of the guys who I worked with back in the day. So like them, as well as your classics. Like, I think we all I'm sure everyone has had a look at like, the Sam Calder videos or Peter McKinnon sort of guys, and they were very instrumental as well. But a lot of the guys
Do you think it's because you were around these guys? Because I feel like I was inspired by Sam Calder, Peter McKinnon, all those guys, and I feel like a lot of creatives, when they start out, look at these big travel creatives and it looks really, really cool, and that's probably what gets them started. But in the back of their mind, being the travel creator and doing it for a living seems out of reach. It's like, oh, that's for Pete. He's got millions of views and I just want to make a living. I just want to make some money out of this. That's not, like, the goal can't be being Pete or traveling the world, because that's too hard.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're around, like physically around people that are doing it, it would make it a bit more within reach.
Oh, totally.
Is this right?
Totally. Yeah. Being around them and they weren't necessarily anywhere near the size of
of course, but they're living
exactly and they're creating
lifestyle.
Amazing stuff. And they're and it also does make you realize you don't have to be the Sam Calder to have an incredible lifestyle that ticks a lot of the boxes that you're aiming to tick. It definitely would have been beneficial. And as I said, we had, for those events, there's 15 weeks worth of events, Saturday to Saturday, all through the summer, and every week there'd be a different photographer or filmmaker on these events. So I got to see also the breadth of people who were really, really successful at what they were doing, and maybe not that far off Sam Calder, and as well as lower level who were still significantly better than I was, but I could see I could get to that kind of level, and they're still getting booked for these awesome jobs. Like you don't have to be like the absolute best of the best. Definitely would help, but
but being in that environment for sure would help.
Certainly, it makes you realise that the gap probably isn't as big as you think it is.
Yes.
And there's lots of cool, awesome work out there if that's your goal, that you don't necessarily have to have that be the world's best.
And then when did the moment come where you first started making money from your creative work? Do you remember?
Yeah, the first probably paid gig I had would have been 2019.
Yep.
And that was my very good friend Molly, who's a kind of travel influencer, and she's now runs her own company, Where's Molly, and she had a kind of getaway, an experience with some of her followers, and she booked me to shoot the video, which I'm sure I've still gotten is probably horrible, but she was so lovely, and she like booked me, and I went away and just like spent the weekend with her and her like her community, and but yeah, it probably wasn't till 2021, 2022 when it was actually kind of starting to make a bit of a decent living from it.
Before then, you decided to kind of take it on. I was going through your work, and there was I want to touch on this because it's a moment that I feel like most creatives go through, and it was a post you did at the end of 2019, and I'm just going to read you a caption of like how you felt at the time. I feel like this is the time when you left Yacht Week, because the caption read, "Saying goodbye to a steady income and dream job that I've had for the past 6 years, and launching headfirst into a number of passion projects is incredibly exciting, terrifying, and invigorating all at the same time. I guess it's time to step well and truly out of that comfort zone and go for gold." How were you feeling at the time? What was happening? Because I feel like that's something a lot of creatives go through, like that moment where it's like, I'm giving up the security, there's this job that I've had, and it's terrifying, but I've got to just go all in.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that?
Sure. Yeah, it was all those things, but by the same token, I was really confident it was the right move. I've never had a problem trying and failing, I think my risk tolerance is pretty high because not because I'm made like that or whatever. It's just I just feel like, and probably from that early engineering experience, I just feel like it's the right thing to do, and give it a go. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. But it doesn't mean that it's not scary, and it's not, you're not taking a risk. And I think the fact that I managed to make a living and found some success DJing and in the music world, which was super competitive, like any industry or like any career you go into, which is fun and lots of people want to do.
Everyone wants to do it.
Everyone wants to do it, and especially now with technology, it's so accessible to be a DJ. Like you don't have to go to a record store and spend a lot of money buying records. It's like you can just download tunes and all the technical side of things now. Like DJ decks do everything for you. It's very easy. The barrier to entry is very low. Same with photography and filmmaking.
Very true.
So they are going to be competitive, but what finding success in the music and events and DJing world taught me is if you do work hard enough and like focused enough and put yourself out there, you can make it work. You can find a way and you can find success. And so I had that kind of experience, and I thought, if I try this in this new industry, I'm confident I should be able to get there eventually. It might take a long time.
Yes.
It might.
Did you give yourself a timeline? Was there like a...
Yeah, I gave, so that was, I'm not sure when in 2019, that probably would have been like...
Very end
of 2019, right? So I booked a whole heap of jobs, and I say jobs because they weren't paid, but they were awesome experiences in the things I wanted to do.
Yes, paid in other ways, I guess.
Yeah, like, exactly. And like I'd saved up a bit of money to see me perhaps like 6 months to a year.
Cool.
And I was like, if I work, as hard at this as I did in the music side of things and the DJing side of things, in a year I'm certain I can get to a point where, I can earn a little bit of money from it some way or another. And so end of 2019 for 2020, I kind of had booked these quite a few awesome experiences, jobs to go out and film and just create a portfolio.
Awesome.
In the areas that I wanted to, and get the experience, build the skill set.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
How far in were you?
I'd basically just started,
No.
yeah. And then, so all the stuff I'd had planned, obviously,
Oh, wow.
didn't eventuate at
Yep.
all. So
And none of it could have happened. Everything just stopped.
yeah, everything stopped.
Go,
and
go
it was
home.
like,
Get home,
we
Paul.
can't, yeah. And I did. I went home. I was in Portugal at the time.
Yeah.
I was in Portugal, and I was there meant to be there for about 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually there to work out if that's where I wanted to set up a new base. Because Lisbon's very good for digital nomads, and they were very, very welcoming of those type people in those types of careers. So I was there, and obviously everything started kicking off. I actually got the OG strain of COVID.
Oh, no way.
One of the very first.
Oh, shit.
It really knocked me around. Like, I was
Wow.
very ill for a good period of time.
Were you over there or here?
I was in Portugal.
Portugal, wow.
Yeah. So I got it. I was in France. I was doing a bit of filming and DJing with a friend in France, and that we picked it up there. Both of us picked it up there.
No.
It was one of the very early cases of COVID in Europe. And anyway, so I was in Portugal, and all of a sudden things were kicking off, and I had the decision whether to stay in Portugal, go back to the UK, or go back to Australia. And eventually I chose Australia, and for that couple of weeks. And but yeah, we all know what happened there, and essentially that meant that all the work and experiences that I'd booked were all cancelled, and and here I am, still in Australia.
Yeah, and that was it. So you came back,
Yeah.
but you feel like you've built a decent. You go on your page, and you've been everywhere. There's photos of literally all over the world.
Yeah. I've definitely been to a lot of places.
And through that time, were you seeing like growth on your social media platforms?
Yeah, there's been a few periods where I've put a lot of time and effort into social media and seen good results. And one of those times was when I was doing a lot of travel. I used it as a tool to learn, I guess, and just probably lots of you guests have had a similar experience where you set yourself a goal. I'm just going to post every day. It's going to force me to edit, and over the course of a year, if you post every day, you're going to get a lot better.
True.
So I took that sort of approach,
And
and
it
then
worked.
yeah, it did. It worked, and then also during the pandemic, when when we kind of all had a lot of time, I also put a lot of time and effort into again creating every day, and that was when it really took off. That was again the glory days where you'd have some really nice travel footage, kind of well edited together to a trending song, and it's just like, once Instagram was like, oh, people kind of like this. It was just like so many posts would just do so well, and there's been periods where I've put a lot of effort into it and seen good results, but like everyone, it's a process. You don't see those results straight away. It's you got to grind, and then all of a sudden it just takes a couple of videos to take off.
Yeah, true. But I feel like if you put all that time and grind, and you're posting all the time, and you are starting to see some success, your page is growing, you then, there's been times where you've just stopped posting for a really long time. Do you are you scared of doing that? I feel like a lot of people, when they do see success, they want to keep that momentum going. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to feel like they're not relevant anymore, and they'd be way too afraid to stop.
I have had periods of success and then stopped, and it's just a time factor when because growing a business, it obviously requires a lot of time and effort, and if once that starts getting momentum, I guess the social media side of things starts to wane a little bit, because I've only got so many hours in the day.
But do you feel like you were getting work through your socials as well?
Some work, yes,
but not
and
for the most part.
Yeah, I do get some work and some clients through social media, but I think majority of my, at least the bigger clients, is through whether it be cold reach out, or or network, or pitching ideas.
This is good.
Yeah.
So when you came back to Australia, how do you go about finding you're in a whole new place now? Obviously, you might not have the contacts and the network that you had back then. Totally. how are you refocusing and starting to find clients?
Yeah, it was a challenge. I hadn't lived in Australia for like 7 or 8 years.
Did that feel weird? Like I just don't know anyone the same way I knew people back then?
Totally. I my whole network was on the other side of the world.
Yeah, man, that would suck.
And but I mean, I just got to do everything I can to try and build a business here if I'm going to be staying here.
Yeah.
You know, kind of decided I'm going to be here for a while at least.
Yep.
Let's just kind of hustle essentially, and that looked like a lot of cold outreach to clients I wanted to work with.
Yep.
Obviously, I'd like tried to build a portfolio in the work that I wanted to, the work that I desired, and it was trying to use connections, you know, any connections I did have.
Yep.
That's definitely a great first starting point, is any connections you have, no matter how loose in the industry, just trying to reach out to them saying, hey, here I am, I'm back. You know, I'm really looking to work in this sort of area, and you know, do you have time for a coffee? Just go and catch up with someone and say, you know, this is what I'm looking to do. If there's ever any opportunities, be it, you know, paid, non-paid, whether it's you know just tagging along to things, I just want to try and get more involved in the industry. And so yeah, there's a lot of that cold outreach. How
are you coming up with that list? Like, say do you come up with a list of people you want to reach out to?
Yeah.
How are you finding those emails? I'm just trying to imagine. Say, you know, because I've done that too, where you have a whole, but it's like, who do I talk to? How do I find this email? Who's the person in this business that I reach out to?
Yeah,
what's that process?
Good question. So I just made a spreadsheet of clients I'd like to work with. I tried, you know, through either their website, through LinkedIn, through any means possible to get, you know, the most relevant email address or contact details I could find. Sometimes I'd call them up and just say, hey, I was wondering if I could get the details of your marketing manager or, you know, PR marketing manager, whoever the most relevant person would be. And so I had a big list of all these clients, kind of like dream clients, like just going for gold and try and, you know, give it a red hot go and see what works out. And LinkedIn's another good one. You can search for a company on LinkedIn and
I don't think people use that enough.
Yeah.
They don't realise the power in it.
Absolutely. And I haven't had like a huge amount of success doing that, but it's definitely a good way to get the right person's email address. And there's been a few cases where it has worked, and you know, I've had dialogue and you know, maybe a project's worked out. But that's a good way of finding the right person, because you want, you know, obviously at a base level, just info at, you know, Coca-Cola.com is like a pretty basic one to send an email and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Can I speak to to the marketing manager? But if you wanted to work with Nike and you went on to LinkedIn, searched, you know, Nike Australia, and then it gives you a list of employees, and you might see like marketing manager, you can then be like, okay, that's the right person I want to talk to.
Yes.
So you can, you know, send them a message on LinkedIn, or can just try and Google and find their email address, or if none of that works, you can just email Nike Australia and say, hey, I was wondering if I could get the contact details for this person to, you know, to talk to them about, you know, what you want to talk to them about. So that was kind of the hustle to kick things off. And a couple of them worked and got some, you know, some decent jobs in, you know, with some clients that I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be working with these clients, like some tourism sort of clients, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll just go for it.
How did I end up here?
And to their credit, they showed a bit of trust and let me have a go, which was awesome. And then, you know, it's like, okay, I've got this. Now I've got a couple of portfolio pieces that are, you know, with this client who's very respectable. So I can try and leverage those to be like, I can do this for, you know, another tourism board, or I could do this for,
and the confidence that'll come from it too, right?
Yeah. Once you kind of like, you can successfully complete that project for them. Definitely you get a bit of confidence and
that's
a lot
amazing.
of experience, which is good.
I love that proactive approach, like really proactive. I don't think enough people do that at all, like at all ever.
Yeah.
It's more people feel like if I make a video and a story saying I'm available, and it's just I'm going to sit and wait for people to approach me.
Yeah.
rather than just going and approaching them.
Yeah, I think it's probably a very valuable point that you've got to, like, lots of people, I think, especially when starting out, they're like, once I reach this skill set and my videos look like this, the clients are going to come flooding
they're going to come to me.
Yeah, and that's just not the case. Yep. You definitely, the skill set is like a requirement to a certain level, but you've got to remember that it's a business, and you, as much as you might not like doing it, like I didn't like doing it, working on the business aspect is just as important as your skill set. Once your skill set reaches a level where it's good and it's good enough, and obviously you know the better the skill set, the better the jobs you can get and the better it'll look, but you can't kind of disregard that the business side of things, if you want to make a living out of it, is so important. And you know, you've got to remember to allocate a lot of time to the business side of things, because you don't need to be the best at everything. You've just got to be at a good, competent level, and then you know just work on the business aspect for that to take off. And I think that's so easy, especially creatives who might not come naturally the business side of things. It's such an important part and integral part of, you know, if you want to do this for a living, you've just got to accept that the business side of things is very important and worth spending time and getting better at, and putting the time into it.
That's so true. Like, very true. And I don't think people put enough time into it. And I think it's easy to fall into the trap. Like with creative work, there's so much to learn, like photo, then video, outdoor, lighting, podcast. Like you could play that game forever, and you feel like you're growing because you're constantly working on the skill. But at the same time, you're ignoring the business side of things. And it's important, especially if you want to make a living out of it and make something successful. Yeah. And I think it's a lesson I learned like real early. When I was still being a PT, I was doing both at the same time. And I thought, I just need to keep getting better at the thing, better at the thing, better at the thing. And then I guess he was a mentor. He was the owner of the gym. And he gave me advice that like never left me. He goes, Kenny, you're good enough. Like obviously the more you work, you're going to get better, and that'll happen just with time. But he's like, your only obstacle right now is obscurity. People don't know that you exist. So it doesn't matter how good you get. If no one knows you exist, you're not going to get work. He's like, focus on being like, letting people know that you exist, which is like the marketing side, reaching out to all the hustle things that you were just talking about. Is like letting them, I exist, I'm available, this is my work. And that takes time. And it's time that gets taken away from you, like being good at the creative thing, but it's just as important.
Definitely.
And it gets ignored, I think, because it's uncomfortable, and it's like recognizing that you're weak at it and you're not good at it. And I think especially, like, sounds like you too, like when you're working by yourself, no one's there to tell you, hey man, you suck at this. You've got to tell yourself. And you know, there are, for most of us, I think it's like, I suck at sales, I suck at but that's fine because it's not something that we've practiced or learned or done a course on. But you have to realize that you do, and then spend the time to get good at it, because it's only going to benefit you when it comes to finding creative work and landing these bigger clients.
Totally, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Exactly what you said.
I just see it over and over. And I remember when he told me, and I'm like, he's so true. Yeah. He's so true.
Because I mean, it's a very common thing that you hear, but there are people nowhere near as skillful as you getting jobs, getting a lot better jobs than you're getting. And it's just because they have the business acumen. Yep. So it's not glamorous, and it's not, you know, it's not fun. It's like, it's fun to create things. It's not fun for, well, at least for me to, some people are great at business and it is fun for them, but for me, you know, I'd rather be, you know, creating things rather than, you know, like doing emails or like, you know,
but at the same time, the better that you get at those things, the more creative work you're going to get. Yeah. You're going to end up creating.
Oh, totally.
Anyway.
It's like,
and being rewarded for it.
So important. Yeah.
How did you then go about like pricing your work or figuring out what your worth is? Because obviously it increases over time. You're working with bigger clients, your portfolio grows, your work gets better. Yeah. How did you start figuring out, like, initially how much you were charging, and then how did that evolve?
It's definitely a process, and I think with experience, you know your worth, and you know, I'm first to put my hand up and say I would have lost some good clients because I overpriced it, and I'm also the first to say I would have lost out on money because I've underpriced for lots of things. But in the beginning, I think you I think if you have someone who has been where you are or in the know, just asking them and saying, look, what do you think would be appropriate, is a good first step. And the more you do, the more you realise where you can land. And for me, when it comes to pricing jobs, if I can get an idea on the budget from the client, super handy.
Of course.
Sometimes tight-lipped and they don't want to give it up, and that's fine. But also I find that if you say these are my usual rates, but I'm happy to discuss to try and find a way forward if needed, then they have an idea of what you are worth for future jobs.
True. And I think it definitely depends on like where you are in your career. I imagine early on when you're just trying to get clients, even though they may give you a lower monetary value, but at the same time, building that portfolio and saying that you've worked with that brand can then open up opportunities with other brands later on. So you're getting paid in other ways. Yeah,
exactly right. And not just when you're starting out, even if it's further down the line and you think that it's a big company and they're like, look, we just don't have big budget for this project, but that there'll be bigger budgets and better projects down the line, and if you show a bit of faith, and sometimes it can be worth just going for it and getting the foot in the door with those companies. True. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you're like, they don't come back to you, or they're not willing to pay what you're worth, and that's just part of the process.
Of course. I think the step before this that I think is also really important is like knowing what your goals are and like what you're trying to reach.
Certainly.
Because then these decisions become a whole lot easier when you know that brand aligns with where you're trying to get to.
Certainly.
Like if I was trying to get into the fitness space and I don't know, a hairdresser hits me up, I'm probably not going to cut them any deals.
Totally.
Whereas if a brand that does align with where I'm trying to get to, it makes way more sense. Like I haven't done any travel content, but if I wanted to get into the travel space and that was my new goal, I would then probably, if I found an opportunity that aligned with me working with a travel partner, I'd be like, I'd probably do this for free because I can then build up this portfolio to say that I've got now some travel content in my portfolio, which would make it easier for me to get paid opportunities later.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I think a lot of people don't have like much clarity, especially in the beginning, on their goals because they just want to create and they just want to get paid to create. But if you have some clarity on, I want to be a travel creator, I want to be in the fitness game, it makes it easier to learn what to say yes and no to.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
But the more you have like clarity on your goals, where you want to be, your values, it's very clear what you should take on and what you shouldn't take on. Yeah,
I think that's a whole nother skill that I probably haven't got yet, is when to say no, or for just to say no to things and maybe reduce the workload and stress level for a period of time.
Yeah, of course.
But it's such a tricky one to navigate too, isn't it? Because if you say no to one job for a client, and it may not be particularly aligned, but it's not against your values. Like it, the thing that I struggle with is that you don't know where that partnership could lead, or like you might say no to like one job, like this single job, but if you say yes to it, it'll then you'll be there. You could be one of their go-to guys, and it could lead to other projects down, which might be more aligned, might not be. But like, it's not just that single job. It's potentially a whole series of a whole relationship with that client, and that's where I struggle to say no
it's so
as
true.
well. 'Cause from a business decision, it can some of the jobs I've said yes to where it wasn't I was probably too busy, or it's not bang on exactly what I want, but they've been really successul business relationships, and so it's a tricky one to navigate.
It's true, and there's two sides to everything. I don't think there's a right answer to this, because you're right. If I look back at some of my biggest opportunities, they came from doing a shoot that I did not want to do. Like just a throwaway shoot where I was like, oh man, this sucks. I forced myself to do it. It was one of those that I'm like, I should have said no to this. Did the shoot, posted it, someone saw it, like the right person saw it, and it created an opportunity. So I feel like there's no real like right way to go about it, and it's true you just never know. Like you could get 50 views on a video, but if the right person sees it it could lead to opportunities down the road.
Yeah, certainly.
I think I was a victim to that for the longest time, because that was my mentality always. I was like, oh, you don't know who could see it. And I was saying yes to everything, and eventually that caught up to me. But I see both sides of it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I don't know. If you find the correct answer, tell me.
Yeah, true. You can't. It's up to you. And a lot of it is just, for me, it's been like just balancing everything out. When you're doing so much, it's always a struggle to balance, not just workload, but everything else in life. And I was telling you before, like I was speaking to Jaden Bevel when I was in Melbourne, and he was saying the same thing. He did a lot of travel content, and his struggle was like, it looks glamorous and it looks great from the outside, but when you're actually doing it, you're giving up so many other things in life that make it hard to continue doing it.
Totally,
you know, and I'm also a guy that is heavy on routine. Like, I love my routine, and I did a little bit of traveling for work last year, and it ruined me. It just killed, because I was out of my routine. I felt unhealthy. You're not seeing your friends, and a lot of those things, when they do get sacrificed, you could be as successful as you want with your work, but if your health's not right, if your relationships aren't right, you're still going to feel unhappy. How have you balanced all that out? Like doing as much as you do, plus, you know, just feeling fulfilled, I guess.
No. Yeah, it's a massive challenge, and I am first to put my hand up and say it's a big sacrifice. And it does look incredibly glamorous, and it is awesome to go and experience these places. But there is another side to it. Like, everything does come with a sacrifice, and that is, as you said, like not just like relationships, personal relationships, like romantic relationships, family, your routine, like staying fit and healthy, and just you know, it is a struggle. I don't know if I've quite hit the right balance with it yet. You know, I've had a couple of weeks now after the end of financial year. It was basically the first 6 months of this year was full throttle, and I'm like, absolutely will admit it was too much. And I'm very grateful to have the work, and I'm doing all these really awesome experiences that align with, like, and working with these clients that align with my values, which makes it harder to say no and turn it down. But by the same token, you know, I didn't see my friends for months on end, and people would, you know, say like, you know, hey man, when can we catch up? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't for 2 months. I'm like, the next, like, maybe in 10 weeks time I can do it. And because the thing is, obviously, you might be away for, let's say you're shooting in Adelaide for a day, but you go the day before, you know, so you leave the day before, you'll shoot a big day, you might fly back super late, or you'll fly back the next day, and it's kind of like 3 days which are pretty disrupted, and you're out. Before you go, you've got to make sure any work or client stuff you have is done. So those couple of days before prepping, if you're producing the shoot or in charge of the shoot too, there's pre-production for those couple of days beforehand. And then you get back and you're pretty exhausted. You haven't slept much in the 3 days, and then the editing starts. So you've and you know, if it's a tight kind of deadline, you've got to then just kind of lock in and get it done. And that's, you know, it might just be a 1 day shoot in, you know, Adelaide or wherever it is, but it's kind of like the whole week's gone when you look in terms of, you know, living a normal life and and trying to fill those cups of, you know, social health and all those sort of things. And so yeah, from what I'm, you know, like what I'm trying to do now is get a bit of help when, particularly for editing side of things, to come back and relieve a bit of that workload to make it, I guess, more sustainable. Because when it gets really busy and you take on a lot, it's not sustainable. And for me, I'm really careful about it. Potentially should be more careful about it, but because that's what happened in the music side of things.
I was literally about to say, you've almost put yourself in the exact same position where you're like, I can't do this forever.
Exactly. And that's why, for example, I haven't posted on Instagram as much as I used to, because something's got to give. And you know, those extra couple of hours, which you know, maybe I can go and catch up with someone or go to the gym and you know, try and keep physically well. I'll choose that over, you know, putting a lot of time and effort into Instagram, or there's, you know, many different things you can put that time and effort into.
True.
But yeah, so I'm very conscious of it now, that I don't want to burn out again and lose the love for photo and video work. So Yeah, and also just when the quieter periods come, which they do with this style of work, just not feeling like, oh, now I've got to do like, now I've got to plow all this time into like redoing my website and new portfolio piece or whatever, and just still if stuff needs to be done, it needs to be done. But previously I would have been like, oh, okay, I'm going to organise a trip to go shoot a fun piece here, or or go on this adventure and.
I have to be productive.
Exactly. but now I'm getting much more comfortable.
Yes.
Sitting and just chilling, and having slow days, and which I would never have been able to do previously. But it's important to when those quieter times come to take the time out and just like chill and make sure you don't reach that burnout level again.
It's so hard. It's something I think we all face because. You've set out the goal and you're like living what you set out to do. So it's almost hard to be upset about it because you're like, these are all the things I wanted to do. I'm doing the thing, but I've taken on too much.
Yeah, and again, it's like I decided to take on all this, so I have no one to blame but myself. Yes. It's like I could have said no,
at anyone.
and this is work, and I'll get paid for it. So it's like it's not like I'm not crying about it or I'm not complaining about it. It's just like it's all like my decisions and stuff. So I will live with those decisions. But by the same token, it's it just got to be keep in mind that you burn the candle at both ends for too long. It can be. It can be no good, and
it takes the joy out of it.
It does, it does. So that's
that's good ownership. You're right, and that's something I had to learn too. It's like owning being in that situation was because of me.
Yeah. You can't blame anyone
and
else.
then the thing is, you learn from that, and then you make changes. Hopefully, you make changes moving forward, so you're not there.
Exactly.
You don't end up in that situation again.
And that's where I'm doing with getting some help with the editing side of things to try and reduce that workload a bit.
And I saw, are you looking at like different ways of monetizing? Because I saw you were putting out LUTs last year as well.
So probably. To be honest, I didn't kind of give it the amount of time and effort it kind of deserves. So it went okay, but I'm not particularly like pushing it all. It's not a significant revenue stream. But it would be an ideal thing to work on, if I had the headspace to do stuff like that. I think, for the moment, what I'm doing is working quite well, and I'm very content with what I'm doing. Previously I've definitely been guilty of trying to put my finger in too many pies, and and so other things will suffer. But at the moment, I'm pretty focused on like doing what's working, and kind of, I guess, scaling a bit what is working. And so, but in terms of like alternate revenue streams, it was a goal then when I had a bit more time. Now I don't quite have the time to put into it. Maybe I'll feel the urge or something will align. But it's like anything. If you are, let's say selling LUTs or digital assets, it's you got to put time and effort into promoting it, because and I don't quite have that at the moment. So
the same way with the client, like you have to be proactive and you have to put the effort in.
Exactly. So you have to, you have to be creating social videos showcasing it all, and So I've kind of let that slide for the moment, and maybe I'll pick it back up or do something else. It was also the first time I've ever done.
It's a cool experience to just try and see how it works.
Learn a lot, and
you get a lot of feedback from that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's certainly an area that I would like to push more into, and whether it's LUTs or digital assets or something else. But for the moment, I'm pretty focused on what's working, and focusing on that instead of trying to spread thin across a lot of things.
Yes, I'm learning that recently as well. I'm constantly learning, bro. It's the trying to do too many things, and then when you do try and do too many things, it's realizing that the thing you focus on the most is the one that's going to grow. And I've learned that with this podcast. Like there was a period, it's been just over a year now. YouTube told me it was my birthday the other day. That was pretty cool.
All right, congrats.
Yeah, but for the first year, maybe 6-7 months, I'm doing all these when you start a podcast, you don't get paid. You're just putting in, it's an investment of time and energy that you see no return on. and I'm doing client work. I'm hiring out this studio. Like I've got so much work that actually pays me. And I've tried to build out a photography studio at the same time. Like this was me trying to do everything at once. And if we use the podcast as an example, it was moving very, very slowly because it was just something I did every now and then. When I could find a guest, I'd get them on, and it went from like a weekly thing to a fortnightly thing to a monthly thing. And then there was a point where I was like, I guess I just started feeling more comfortable in front of it, and I started enjoying it a bit more. I think at the start I was just scared, and that probably played into it a little bit. And then the more I enjoyed it, the more I was like learning and just meeting people. I was like, man, this is actually fun. And I started paying more attention to it, and it started to grow. And like looking back, I'm like, the thing you focus on is the thing that's going to grow.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the time or the energy as a creative, I get it. You want to try many different things and you want to do all the things. But if you don't have the time to prioritize it and put focus on it, it either isn't going to work or it's going to take so long. And doing many things will take forever to make any of those succeed rather than just focusing on the one thing.
Yeah.
And you see it grow so much faster.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's something I've learned. Similar to when you were talking about your LUTs, I was like, it makes sense. Like if you don't have the time or the energy, it's cool to try and see because you want to know what you like and what you don't like.
Totally.
It could be something that you love doing and then you learn, okay, I need to focus on this more because I've tried it and it's cool. But if you don't have the time or the capacity, it's hard. And then you feel like you failed or you take on too much work and you feel burnout. It's like, I've done it to myself and at the same time I haven't been able to focus or pay attention to any one specific thing to see it through all the way to know whether or not that's a successful opportunity to take on. Yeah,
definitely. It's like if I wanted to, really push that, it'd be, okay, I need to give it a good month of complete focus, a good couple of months of focusing on it and without too many other distractions. And I'm certain, probably, maybe the LUTs wouldn't work, but some form of digital asset or something in that space. Because also like the first time you do things, you're probably doing a whole heap of things wrong, and it's just, you've got to go through that process of learning how to best, market it and, all the workflows associated with it. And it's a whole different world trying to, sell those sort of products than what I'm used to and what I'm focusing on now. So
man, it's so true though. And every time, the more I talk to people, things just pop in my head. I had a guy called Sky, right? And he's got his YouTube channel's doing well now. And I saw on his channel, I'm like, there was a point you had like not many subscribers for a really long time, like years. And then it just shot up. And I'm like, what'd you do? And he's like, I put in the work. It's like, that's it. I just put the effort into the thing. I just decided I'm just going to focus on YouTube, and it grew. And more, the same as your socials, right? When I decided to do it every single day for a year, it grew. And people are always like trying to find the secret. And a lot of the time it's like, just focus on the thing and just go all in on that one thing. And usually the people that are doing well, like that's, for the most part, that's what they did.
Yeah.
They just dropped everything else and said, I'm going all in.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's putting the consistent effort into it.
True. And you had a video that got 1 million views on socials.
Yeah, I've had
You've had a few.
Actually, like,
how does that feel? Like, just have a video pop off like that.
Yeah, it's it's a good
cool.
feeling. You're like, oh yeah, this is
like
kind of wild when you think like 1 million people have seen this. But yeah, it happened quite a bit a couple of years ago when, as I said, that I don't know, it was just, I think, Instagram at the time, and the style of stuff I created was just what people wanted to see, and it would be, I'd have this edit, and it might be like 8 seconds long and maybe 5 clips, and it just like pop right off, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just edit a similar sort of thing and do the same thing, repeat, and it would, they'd take off, and it's a really good feeling. You kind of, you're like, oh, okay, let's do this again.
I want it again. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the more it's happened, like every now and then, recent ones, that probably hasn't happened for a little while now, but a video does pop off, and now I'm at the point, probably because I don't hold the compared, like, my business isn't reliant on Instagram, so I'm not kind of like desperately seeking lots and lots of views. It's obviously really nice, but by the same time I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice, and then just kind of move on with things now. And But it is like, definitely when it first starts happening, you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And like all these like comments and followers, and you feel super loved, and you're like, oh, people appreciate my art.
Yes.
And it is awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
I guess it's good feedback to have.
Yeah, it's good, and it gives you confidence that you know, there's a decent number of people that like what you're doing. There's also, with lots of views, come the negative comments as well, though. So like, you know, there's always a few of those that come in, but so you're like, oh, there's a little minority that don't like it as much, but anyway,
that one hurt.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. And,
yeah, true.
But yeah, it's definitely a nice feeling. But I think having now I if something does pop off, it's still awesome. But
it's awesome, but I feel like as someone who's experienced it, I feel like you're someone who can talk on like, even though the views are cool and it's amazing to have the followers, you're having a successful business creatively isn't reliant on the numbers or having your videos go.
Absolutely. I imagine it would be a lot more exciting if one of the, let's say, LUT promotion videos went off, and all of a sudden I was getting lots of sales for LUTs, and then, you know, which I should have done like many years ago. I had one that got like 4 or 5 million, and it was like a LUT before or after. But at the time, I didn't know how to sell or set up a business or anything. I was just like, well, it's cool that I'm getting lots of views, but I didn't have the foresight to make a business out of it.
True.
So if that was happening, I'd probably be a lot more excited. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's like lots of views, but there's a purpose to the views, or you know, even if it's not a business thing, but there's a nice message, or there's a, you know, there's more to it than just kind of, I guess most of mine were just like pretty adventure videos, and would get a bit more hyped on it, but it's but yeah, it is certainly a cool feeling.
How do you feel about social media now? Because I know there was a time you didn't post during the pandemic for a very long time, and when you did post again, you said that because of the state of social media at the time, I guess like with the pandemic going on, there was a lot of like negative posting. You said that your content didn't feel relevant to be on that platform anymore.
Yeah.
Has that view changed?
I think that was referring to like everyone was locked down and couldn't travel, and so I didn't want to be like,
feels a bit inappropriate.
Here's all these awesome places that no one can go to, and
yeah, true.
So I guess I kind of toned it back, and I don't know, the world was going through a lot, and I didn't feel particularly like, and I don't know, maybe it's right or not. It was just the way I kind of felt. Of course. And it just didn't feel motivated, and it just didn't feel tone deaf, but didn't like feel super appropriate to be like, here's all these awesome places no one can go to, and will we ever be allowed to go to see them? I don't know.
You might never be allowed to go here again. But look at me on the Alps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. That does make sense. I saw that. Okay, so now, like, moving forward, do you have dream collabs? Like, is there a brand that you like wish you could work with?
Good question. It's actually probably not anything that bumps the top of my mind in terms of brands. I think more of a like direction I'd probably like to take and would feel more aligned is, and it's one of the directions I'm slowly kind of making moves to go into, is more of a like important and inspiring storytelling, a deeper level of storytelling around potentially like documentary style stuff that just feels like super aligned to my values, and whether it be like environmental or inspirational people stories to motivate people.
That's cool.
From a brand perspective, I feel very lucky to have worked with quite a lot of the dream like brands that I would want to work with. So I definitely, like, you know, over the years have had a lot of those sort of brands. But I think now I'm definitely thinking of the next kind of steps and where to take things, and like the dream would be more, moving into those, what I feel is like important stories to tell.
Yes.
And telling them in a way that connects with people, inspires, or just, I guess does good for the world. Important sort of stories to tell from that regard would be, that's more what comes to mind when you're like dream collaborations and stuff. If there's brands that, fit into that, that would be quite perfect.
You're good at this though. Like, I feel like you can set a goal like that, and you have I don't know the word. I don't want to say proactive. Is there a word for proactiveness? You're proactive enough to set a goal, even though it's maybe not in the direction that you're currently in, but because you know how to work with brands and make partnerships out of it, you could make that work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these may live on YouTube. Is this like the direction?
Yeah. YouTube would probably be the spot for them, for the longer form.
Have you done
content.
YouTube before?
Yes, I have done YouTube before. I'm not sure whether you already know the answer to this question, because I feel
what do we call it? The Jamelon?
Yeah, Jamelon series. So I've definitely dabbled a lot into YouTube before.
Tell us a bit about that, because it feels similar. I saw what you were doing there. You teamed up with some mates, started a YouTube series, but at the same time you were able to get brands to tag along and support you with this. So can you talk us through that?
Sure. So the basically it was two of my friends that I met. I worked for a while when I was based in the UK for a company that used to take British university ski clubs from the UK to the French Alps, and just basically have like a week-long skiing and party sort of thing. And it was I met two guys doing this, Jake and James, and we just got on like house on fire. And awesome. we all loved travel. We'd all worked in travel and events or production, in terms of photo and video production. At least all had an interest or were working in these sort of areas. And those two guys are hilarious. So like they always would come up with the funniest ideas, and I just kind of giggle along.
Yeah.
So we did do two trips. We did a trip to Vietnam. I went with James, and then we all did a trip through Scotland, through the Scottish Highlands. And
amazing.
In the middle of winter in a little van that was like a little two-person van, but the three boys
That's awesome.
were in there.
And you were making YouTube videos while you're doing this?
Yeah, so we did these trips in maybe mid to late 20-teens, and it was a huge volume of work because we just had so much footage, different cameras, drones, and
that's insane.
And because we just kind of went out and filmed what happened. We didn't really have much of a idea of what the storylines would be, or what the aim of the trip was. So trying to kind of create that in post production is challenging, but you can still do it. Yes. So we were hustling like all through that period to try and create just fun travel stuff that we could put out. And we made a couple of series that we put out, and I don't think any of them took off virality wise, but people seemed to like them, and it was an amazing experience, and each of us learned so much in the process as well. Like we all, for me, because I was doing the bulk of the editing, I was like, my God, I'm a quick editor now, because we'd be working during the pandemic 60, 70-hour weeks, just because and we were loving it too. It was true. These trips that we gone on years ago, and
that'd be some cool memories.
Exactly,
that you just through.
You get to go back through and see everything, all the crazy funny things that you did, and none of it, my skills. None of our skills were particularly red hot when it came to filming, so we were like, okay, we'll try and make the most of what we can with what we got. Anyway, there was all of a sudden there was this accumulation of a couple of brands that had kind of been on point, and we kind of noticed, I think, the stuff that we were doing, and so we just managed to get a meeting, sitting down with all these heads of marketing of this watch brand, and a clothing brand that all these brands had collaborated with each other, and then Land Rover, and we were just we had no idea what we were doing, but we were just all in this meeting hello, and they're like, well, what we should all do something. We're like, yes, we should. Yes, we should. And I remember we made a pitch video to them, and it was like a Dragon's Den style pitch video. So I'm not sure if you've seen Dragon's Den, kind of Shark Tank sort of thing. And so anyway, we were like, okay, we've made a pitch video of something that we can do, and it was like very silly, but like quite funny. And James was going to share his screen to show the video, and he like shared the screen, and like a pop-up of like this love letter from his girlfriend popped up on screen, and this is like the marketing director of Land Rover, like of Europe, and we're just like, it's like that's not meant to be there. And anyway, like managed to get the proper video up, and like and it was just like something that was so silly, but quite entertaining. And so we just like showed them this video, and then we were like, so what do you think? And there's just this silence, and they're like, well, that's different. But anyway, they liked it enough that they gave us a bit of money, and I flew over to, once the borders were open after the pandemic, flew over, and we did this wild Atlantic Way trip, and which was incredible, like an incredible trip. And then we all went to Cape Town to edit because we had just like so much footage. We did all these challenges along the way, and with the volume of footage we had for this trip was mind blowing, because we had, I don't know, like 5 cameras running at all time. And, so we made a few things, and we also, like, whilst we were in Cape Town, we were putting stuff out on YouTube. And after about 6 months, kind of like our visas were up, and we were like, okay, like trying to kind of where should we take this? What should we do? And we were having a bit of kind of like, from a creativity level and goals, we weren't all super aligned in terms of what sort of stuff we really wanted to plow our time into and make.
That's hard.
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, look, let's kind of just park it for this time being. We've got all this like awesome stuff, and maybe one day we will release it, but we're all just like, okay, let's kind of like with our different creative visions. It's not a super line. Probably should have worked that out a little earlier, to be honest.
Yeah, we could have had the discussion a long time ago.
But it was like, look, okay, we reached a very friendly agreement. We're all still friends as well, obviously.
Yeah, cool.
I work with Jake now. He helps me with
That's awesome.
He helps me with some social media stuff that I do for clients, and James is off doing awesome stuff, and
that's great.
Yeah, so we're still friends, and like organising with Jake, trying to do a trip to like Kazakhstan, and the stands, he really wants to do that. So it was important for us to all go off and kind of do our own things as well, and we I've no doubt that if we stuck with it, like it would have, like anything, persistence pays off. And,
of course.
And if you're producing stuff that's of a decent level, or it's entertaining, it's only a matter of time before things go really well. But when you don't have that kind of creative alignment, it makes that quite challenging.
Yeah, true.
It just took us a few years to work that out.
Which is fine though. Like, it's like the understanding that, okay, this probably doesn't align with everyone, but we all learn something, we're all better for it, and we're all still mates. Yeah. And it could work down the line. Like, that's a positive, taking the best out of the situation. Yeah, definitely. And it's okay if you're not aligned and things don't work out, that's okay. Yeah. That's like totally fine, and you can, it's no one's fault, except probably all of us for not working it out earlier. But, true.
But it's no one's fault.
So then, in terms of you doing the work with your mates, it became work, but it's almost a passion project as well. Do you feel the need to do passion projects? I feel like a lot of your work is almost like doing your passions, but a lot of creatives struggle with like doing the client work. But when you work with clients, you're under a whole lot of like set of rules and deadlines, and the end result isn't usually what you'd want it to be. And then there's that need of wanting to do passion projects on the side to help fulfill your creative outlet that you want to do. Do you face that, or?
There is a lot of crossover, like with the clients that I work with and some of the projects I do, that I'm like, okay, this is stuff that I'm passionate about, and like a cool, awesome experience and trip that I would love to do just regardless. But no, I definitely would, like, the goal is to do 1 to 2 passion projects per year.
Is that where the need to do this like storytelling bit comes in?
Yeah, exactly. That would be the goal for that one. Which, the last couple of years I probably haven't really done, just because I've been pretty laser focused on the business and setting myself up. To get it to a point where I can probably take a step back and like actually focus on those things.
Man. I feel like that's where a lot of like the burnout side comes in, because like you're so focused on like doing all the client work and making it work, and if you don't carve out that time to do the work that like you really enjoy and you got into it for in the first place, that frustrated me. I was like, man, I'm doing all this work and all these videos for everyone else, and I'm not doing any for me. And the pod's been one of those. It was for about the beginning of the year. I think that's why I started doing more of it, actually, now that I think back, is I realized I was in this position at the end of the last year where I was frustrated. I was like, I'm doing all this work for everyone else. Every video I've edited this week was for someone else and none for me. And I realized the podcast became that. It became the thing that's just for me. And I'm like, no one's touching it. And I think that's why I started doing more of it as well.
Good on you.
Yeah, I was like, that's my thing. That's my time. That's the thing I'm enjoying. I don't get paid, which it was good that no one was paying me for it, because I was like, I can make this whatever I want. It's my show. I can have fun with it. No constraints. And I found that was like my little outlet. And then I was like, well, if this is what makes me happy, I'm going to keep doing more of it.
No, that's awesome. Well done. I feel like I should be asking you questions about this.
No, but I feel like we all face that, right? Because we take so much client work and we keep doing it, and then the frustration is like, I'm not making time for me.
Yeah, definitely. Which is so awesome and important that you, when you had that feeling, you acted on it, because often it's so easy to just be like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, but I've got to focus on this, and so that's really awesome. Which is something I will do when I feel like, I guess, the time is right, which is a dangerous thing to say, because often the time never feels right. But no, it's in the back of my brain, and I'm just kind of trying to work out how to execute it, I guess. But it's definitely there, and I know I will get to it eventually. But when I kind of want to make sure I'm in the right place to do it again, which is dangerous to say. But
of course.
I just I kind of, my gut feeling is I'm almost there, and it's definitely on the to-do list to do more of those passion projects. And
your tone is very like confident. It's like, I know I can make this work. I just need the time and if I can just focus on it and make it a priority. The thought of it not working almost like doesn't sound like it comes from what you're saying. No, and I think it's because you've made all these things work in the past. It's like, I just know I need to make the time for it.
Yeah, exactly. When you've done things and you've got a bit of proof that you can do it, that's the key to having that confidence. And and the good thing about a passion project too is that whatever you make is good. It's not like there's that pressure from clients, or it's not going to be a failure if you're doing it out of pure passion. And
that's true.
I guess I will get to it. And I'm feeling like it'll be coming soon.
I'll be waiting for it.
I'll send it to you. I'll need some feedback on it. I'll send it to you.
And then lastly, if there's creatives out there that want to try do the travel thing, what do you think is like, because we talk about like there's so many different things to do, and I feel like if I was listening, I'd be like, what's the one thing, like what should I focus on the most? What's the one thing I should put most of my time in if I want to become a travel creator and be known as, I feel like you look at your page and you'd be identified as travel and action or travel and adventure creator immediately. You go on your page and that's the guy. You've been identified as that. Many people would want to also be identified as that, but they're nowhere near right now. What do you think someone should it may be more than one thing, maybe 1 to 3 things that like focus on this, don't worry so much on this.
Well, I think it's a huge advantage if you're like that. That is what I want to do, and that's the goal.
Having clarity on the goal.
Having clarity on that goal is important. First step is,
true.
I think is to, if you don't have clarity on that exact point, is to try everything and see what really does gel.
That's true, because some people try and they don't like it. They think the travel thing's awesome, then they do 1-2 trips and they're exhausted.
Yeah.
And
if you want to be known as that guy, you've got to do it. You've got to do it and produce content for what you want to then be booked for if you'd like to make a career from it. So you take those trips, you get up at the nice, sunrise, sunset, you shoot when the light's nice you
talk about that too, like having the right lighting.
Yeah, and
makes the difference.
You got to accept it's going to take a bit of time, and when it comes to building that skill set to then turn it into a business, if that's your goal, it's going to take a bit of time to get there, and there's not too many shortcuts you can take.
I feel like you've also got to you've got to love the thing.
Totally.
You love traveling, like you really do. You've been doing it before it was even a creative endeavor.
Yeah.
You were traveling for a long time. You left. You didn't come back for 796 days when you first left Australia. Like, you loved traveling. I think that's a good first step.
Yeah.
For whatever it is you want, like, find what you actually love. Because some people get into it because they just want free trips.
Yeah.
They don't actually love the thing. And I think that goes for a lot of people. I had Kira Wong, she's a food photographer. And having her talk about food, I was like, holy shit, she loves food. She was talking about the texture and the taste and the crunch. And just listening to it, I'm like, she loves food. Like, she should be a food photographer. And I would suck at it. Not that I don't like food, but I don't love it the way she does it. You don't, like, I probably don't love, I love traveling, but not like you, and I think that's a big first step. It's like realizing, like, what do you love doing?
Definitely,
and it'll make it easier to pursue.
Oh yeah, it's a superpower if you're passionate and you love and you love it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. And that's why I say the first step is working out exactly what it is that you really do want to do, the stuff that you're passionate about, the stuff that you won't mind staying up till 1 a.m. and just tweaking stuff, and you get excited over it and you're like, oh no, I've got to go to bed, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that absolutely is a superpower, because you'll put in that work. It won't feel like work, and if you're putting in that extra work, those extra hours, it's not feeling like work. You're going to progress a lot quicker, and you're going to stick with it.
Yes,
which is
that's
other
so
thing.
true.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about it, like it is a volume game. Like if you can do more of it, you're going to get better. And if you're doing something you love, it's easier to do the many, many reps and the many, many hours because it doesn't feel like it.
Definitely.
Whereas if you choose to do something you don't really have that kind of passion about it, that could start to drain you.
It does, yeah. It does. I'm sure
you fall off.
Everyone's felt that when, whether it's just like you're studying a subject at school that you don't like, it saps your energy, and you won't put in the work that you need to get there. And that's why my 20s I was just trying everything to see what I loved and what I didn't love, and kind of like landed on this kind of career. But I also think there's a lot of value in buying courses from creators who are where you want to be.
How do you find a good one?
Well, you basically, it'll be in who you follow. Yeah. Like who you follow.
True.
If it's, this incredible photographer, and even if it's just like a PDF that's 10-page PDF, and it's like, this is how I plan a shoot, and this is how, or these are the presets I use and how I use them, and they've got a 1-hour tutorial. I still do it for creators who are doing cool things that they're better at it than I am. Yeah. I'll still just like, okay, this investment of 50, 100, however much it might be. Yep. It's still worth it, and you learn, and you can. I guess that's a way to speed up that process.
I agree. I heard it. I don't know who said it. It wasn't me, but someone said, you either pay with money or with time. Yeah. And it's your choice. And when you buy a course, when you pay for a mentor, they're speeding up your learning time. Yeah. So you get there quicker. You don't need to take that mentor or that course, but you then have to learn yourself, which means you then pay with time, and you'll learn in 2 years rather than 6 months.
Exactly. And on that note too, and I know this is a long-winded answer to the initial question, but also collaborate with people who have the same interests. Correct. So, rather than going out and shooting a sunrise by yourself and trying to create a video, like, try and find someone who's just as passionate or in the same space as you, and because you'll learn from them, they'll learn from you. It's another way to speed up the process.
I feel a lot of creatives recognize that. They're just afraid to reach out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
As much.
Definitely.
You have that in you. You kind of you're not afraid to reach out to people.
Not afraid, but I definitely like should have done it more than I have, like, and I would have progressed quicker.
Yep.
But where I have, that's always like been incredibly beneficial to go out and just shoot, especially when you're starting out, because it's also like motivation.
At any point, not even when you're just starting out, you know, like always.
Totally, and you know, you got almost like an accountability buddy when the alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and you're like, oh, I could just sleep.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at guys that I follow. You're included, and I also I learn from the people that I follow. I try and curate my feed really well. Like if it doesn't serve me, I know that it can like brain rot can come real quick. So I try to follow people that I can get inspiration from, and then I try and like learn from them too, even though I don't know them directly. And you're one. There's another guy, Jason Robertson. And a few other people, like I watch their work and I'm like, man, why do these look so good? There's a reason why these look. And I feel like lighting plays a big role in this.
Absolutely.
And like making the effort to get up early, get that shot. That's a commitment to wanting to be good and wanting your work to look good. You wake up at 4 a.m., whereas other people are going to wake up at 6, 7, get there at 9, and like their work's just not going to look as good.
No.
And it's that commitment to getting better.
Yeah.
And when you're around other people that force you to do it, it becomes easier. That's something I've noticed.
The biggest, from a more, I guess, not technical, but from an aspect of making your work look aesthetic, you just can't beat nice light in a good looking place, at the top of a mountain or on top of a cliff when there's nice light. It's very hard to take a bad shot. The landscape, if the landscape and light are nice, it does a lot of the work for you. And even if it's not in a spectacular location, even if it's in a grungy place, if there's a bit of nice light coming through, it'll just make it look so much nicer. And also, I just love shooting the blue hour now as well. Dude,
I'm noticing it. Like when I'm looking at good work, I'm like, man, this all looks mad, and I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, they're shooting at the right time.
So when you shoot is really going to help you out if you're
and you've also because I was going through all your work, I noticed like composition getting better, like really good shots, like you're planning these shots out, you're not just snapping away.
And you can compositions are one that
person's in the right spot, things are aligned,
and it just comes with practice.
True.
In the beginning, I remember being super frustrated about I was like, okay, I've looked at this YouTube tutorial on composition, but I still don't get it. I was like, but I still.
Why don't mine look like that?
But it is just, again, it comes with a volume of work. And it'll be an accident often that you're like, wow, that's good. Okay, and then you remember, you're like, that kind of composition looks really good. And it's only when you're going back through the 500 photos I took from that one morning.
That's so true, man. Oh, we're like right at the end, but I want to talk about it.
Go for it.
I was listening to, Colin and Samir. They're these two creative podcasters, and they brought up that they were talking about AI. And what you just spoke about, a lot of great creativity comes from those beautiful accidents where you're trying something new, it didn't work out, but you got something amazing out of it. And a lot of the times it comes from that process and that experimenting. And they were saying AI takes that whole process away because you get to the end result a lot quicker. Now, I think AI is great and it has its benefits, but it does take away those accidents that create some really good art.
Definitely.
What do you think about AI?
Yeah.
I think it's great in some aspects, but not so great.
Yeah, at the moment, it's incredibly useful.
Yeah.
I won't say I've launched fully into all the different AI programs you can use that are getting incredibly good now.
Yeah.
I won't lie and say I'm pretty concerned for the industry.
Yep.
I've listened to a lot of in-depth podcasts on AI, and the experts aren't forecasting terrific things. That's another reason why I'm pretty focused on business now, making sure that is going well, because you just don't know what's around the corner. So I hope for the best, and I hope it's just a tool. But I mean, you see some of the commercials coming out now that are fully AI that would have taken maybe 4 or 5 people. Previously, that would be a team of 120, 150,
and they look
budgets.
very real.
Yeah, looking like the Amazing TV ad. I'm not sure if you've seen that one,
it.
but I didn't know it was AI until I saw an article. I think it was on Gruen, and they're like, "This is actually AI," and I was like, "Okay, now I kind of see it." But I'd seen it a few times before, and so yeah, it's obviously. I'm keeping my finger on the pulse because I realise that that's important to do. I haven't fully launched into it, but I probably will. I almost the other day, I kind of subscribed to one of the proper AI sort of tools. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think so too.
I hope it plays out for the best. I'm not super confident, but I don't think we're the the creative industry is far from the only industry. It's going to be turn things upside down for us. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm also feel like I'm being a bit of a realist that it has the potential to really shake things up, and it's getting pretty good.
It's getting very good.
Yeah.
It's getting very good. And whether we like it or not, the clients that we aspire to work for are going to want to use it, and it's not our choice. So I think you almost have no choice but to embrace it because clients are going to want to use it.
Definitely.
And if you're the guy that understands it and knows how to implement it into what they're trying to do, you've got a better chance. Than neglecting it. They're the guys that are going to be left behind. Totally. And I see more and more people not wanting to accept it because they care about the art, and I totally get that. But at the same time, I feel like you will get left behind when clients and businesses just take off with it and run with it.
Definitely.
If you know nothing, you don't have your finger on the pulse, I think they're the guys that are probably in the most trouble. Yeah,
definitely. It's it's going to be interesting to see how it does play
I do
out.
feel like it's going to be just a tool, though. I think like a lot of the times we get scared very easily, and we think the worst, which is fine. But I was chatting to another guy the other day. I don't know if this is a great analogy or not, but I was saying, like, businesses that they care about their business, they care about what they're trying to achieve, they care about sales and the growth of their business. They don't really care about art too much. Right, so like we care about art, they don't. And if they can achieve the result, regardless of whether it's artistic or not, they're going to be fine with it. And we need to learn to accept that. The same way, when the microwave came along, right? I don't care about the food that much. I just want to get fed. I'm hungry, it's convenient. I will put my food in the microwave. A chef would hate me for that. Yeah. He'd be like, look at this guy. This is terrible. He's going to take away my job. These microwaves, he doesn't know what real food is. But chefs are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's being okay with like, this is now part of what we do, but my job isn't going to go away. People are still, this is the quick, convenient, it's going to look like everything else solution. But if you want something that really stands out, something that's like, a lot of times people say, there was love put in this meal. The same way there was love and thought and great storytelling put in this piece of work. AI starts, I feel, because it's just relaying back other human experiences, a lot of it, and it already is, starts just looking the same. So you get the result, but the same as a microwaved meal. It's quick and it's going to start looking the same as everyone else's. And the things that stand out are the things that have a lot of effort and thought and creativity put into them. And they get appreciated more. Like, I think if the Mona Lisa was created with the push of a button by AI, would it be appreciated as much as it is now? Probably not.
Not at all. Yeah.
Right? It's appreciated because of the time and the effort and the skill that was put into it. So that's me being positive about the whole situation.
I love you. I love your optimist prime.
Have I sold you on it?
I hope that's how it works out. I still I really do. I really do hope that's the way it goes. I'm just unsure.
You're just like, I just don't think.
No, I hope, again, I hope for the best. You're dusting off
the DJ kit.
That'll be an AI person sometime now too.
That'll be AI. That's hilarious.
No, I hope it does. There's still space for it. I think I think there'll still be a lot of jobs in it. I think my concern comes into, not just people who are in charge of a shoot, but like talent, gaffers, producers, everyone who's, the extended number of people, whereas
our mate John.
Yeah, like there's just like a whole number of people that are required for a big production, but when it turns to just a couple of people being able to prompt and get similar results and which the client's happy with, that's where I'm just like, I just have a bit of a gut feeling.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree.
But there might just be way more jobs in doing that sort of thing. It might open up
opportunities elsewhere.
But yeah, I hope you're right. I really do.
It's trying. I'm doing my best to like see it from both sides and not just pick one. Like I think there's positives to both.
Yeah.
And it's being able to be open-minded enough to see both sides.
But the thing you said is bang on the money is it's here to stay. So you've got to got to accept that and utilize it as best you can. And see where the wild world goes in the next 5 years, and who knows, maybe everyone will be all out of a job, but we'll all be on universal basic income, creating passion projects and living the dream.
Yeah, we'll be working from the moon or something.
But yeah, it's an interesting space. It's it's getting so good now.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I see some stuff and I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it sells me. Like I sent my friend a silly video of a bear jumping on a trampoline in someone's backyard yesterday, and it fell through the trampoline, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. You sent it to my friend. And then I saw it one more time, and the trampoline material just like broke and then molded back together, and I was like, no, I've been sold the dummy here. And I had to measure. I was like, disregard that AI. And he's like, I was like, I got done.
got me good.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But yeah, anyway, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, same. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too.
Lots of stories, lots of lessons, which is good.
I hope so, I hope so.
Even I learned a lot from that.
Oh, right, thank you.
I was really looking forward to it because I'm like, man, I know nothing about travel. He looks like he's lived a dream. And I'm experiencing travel creativity through this guy. And you delivered. That was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I love what you're doing too with these podcasts and the general community you're building.
Yep.
It's awesome to see, and I'm hoping the next meet I can make it along to the next.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah, you should. They're fun. I did one. It was so stressful. When you were talking about organising events and doing it for a living, I did one. Oh my God, it ruined me. I was gone. It took me 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah,
it was exhausting, stressful. And you were talking about, and I was like, this guy did it for a living. I'm doing my second one, so but they're like months apart because I just needed time to think.
Yeah, definitely a few extra grades pop through after organising an event.
Yeah, but worth it.
It is. It's amazing when it comes together and you see the product and everyone has a good time, everyone gets value, and it's just an awesome.
Yeah, it is. And it's learning from these pods. Like you saying you're not the only one. That wanting to be around other creatives and learn from each other, and I think being able to create an opportunity for creatives to do that. And it feels like I'm getting more and more aligned, clarity in terms of what I'm trying to do. And this pod helps those same people, and understanding okay, this platform has a space where it can help these creatives. And then at the same time, there's meetups where these guys can actually meet up and go off and do their own thing. And that it starts feeling good when you put the time and the effort into it, and it starts to work, and you see people benefiting off it and seeing people get opportunities off of it. It feels good, man. So thank you.
No, and community is so key, but kind of getting rarer and rarer these days. So
especially with the online space, right? You feel connected, but you're not.
Yeah, so anything that physically brings people together is such an asset.
Yeah, they're happening more and more. I'm seeing it everywhere. Like in-person events are almost becoming a trend because people are in need of it.
Definitely. Yeah, no. So it's cool to be a part of it, and of this pod and the general thing that you're doing. So
thank you. I'm glad you were able to. It was good that you started off with saying that you left engineering and you were just going to chase this passion. How long ago was that?
That would have been 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
And you're still doing it. You never gave up. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Very good to see, and I look forward to seeing you continue to do it. I want to see these documentaries.
Yeah. No, they're definitely in the mind and getting closer and closer to executing it. To find a good story to tell, I guess.
It's coming.
That's the goal, isn't it?
It's coming. All right. Thank you, man.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Awesome.